What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, we're going over Octavia's build today that I use mainly in Circuit and for Steel Path high-level missions. This is an extremely min-maxed build, but I did want to still make it pretty accessible, so it doesn't have any Tau shards on it, we just got some normal shards. This will be giving the exact amount of power strength you need to fully remove enemies' armor, and basically kill any level enemy you want with the Octavia, Mallet, and Amp combination. We'll also be going pretty in-depth about how her abilities work, and things of that nature. So if you enjoy these types of videos, these deep dives on loadouts and all that, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. Also check the live stream. A bunch of the videos I recorded last week are going up, so we have to make some new videos, so come stop by and help brainstorm with me if you want to. Alright, Octavia, and just what are we building for in Octavia? So she is a very interesting frame. She's viewed as one of the most OP frames in the game easily because of just all of her abilities do crazy stuff. We've used the helmet system to remove her second ability, Resonator, which is still a really good ability. We've removed it for Pillage from Hildred, which allows us to remove enemy armor and shields. This will also give us shield getting too, but we'll be permanently invisible with Octavia, so the shield shouldn't matter as much. So, the thing about Pillage, though, is that it needs a lot of power strength to remove enemy armor and shields. It also has a very big range, too, depending on how much duration you have. Duration influences how far this wave goes out. So with this armor strip, we are going to jam a bunch of power strength to get full armor removal, and we're also going to use the Mallet ability of Octavia. We throw this on the ground, enemies attack it, it will deflect the damage back at them, and this thing is invincible, so it scales very well into high levels. And also, while we're at it, the fourth ability is going to make it where the damage and range of that first ability the enemy shoot at is going to be doubled in both ways, in both range and damage. So hilariously strong, and while we're at it, the main ability Octavia a lot of people know about is Metronome. These little ring things fly into the middle, and if you teabag correctly when the ring goes to the middle, you will go invisible. This also works for your teammate too, so team-wide invisibility. It does other stuff too, but we're not going to worry about that as much in this video. They give things such as multi-shot, melee damage, and movement speed, and that movement speed is quite noticeable. Alright, another thing about Octavia is that she has a special sound attack. It's called the Manticord, and you can choose which songs you want to put on here. I've got E1, M1 from Doom. The reason this is so good is because look at all these notes on here. These notes will influence how much DPS you're doing, so you want a lot of notes, honestly. And if you want to change songs, you're going to have to find them yourself. So I've got some songs like Bloody Tears from Castlevania. You know, the Doom song is very good, though. If I'm online, you guys want me to send this to you, I can link this to you in-game. I don't think there's a way I can actually post it on this video to have you able to copy-paste it, unfortunately. So that's very good. Let's show what all this stuff does put together. Keeping in mind that we have extremely specific power strength numbers right now to hit these benchmarks for pillage that we need. So currently we've got, as I wanted to make this more accessible, we have 4 Crimson Archon shards for power strength, and 1 Crimson Archon shard for duration. We wanted a very specific power strength number for our pillage. So if you had Tau versions of these, Tau versions give 15% instead of 10% each. So you could have 3 Tau shards for strength, and then you could have 2 Tau shards for duration. You'd be walking away from this build with a lot more duration. You'd be at almost 200, and you'd be at the correct power strength amount as well. Additionally, we are jamming power strength from other sources too. We got Multi-Augmented. This will give us power strength per kill, and it'll stack up 250 times. This is meant for longer missions, so things like Circuit and things like long survivals. So this is great, and this is exactly what we need here. And since we're trying to get exactly on the money here, we've got a rank 8 blind rage. A rank 10 blind rage will be overkill, and it will also technically not really fit there. So if you had a rank 10 blind rage, you'd be going even further into negative efficiency. And Octavia does have some built-in energy regen, but still. And also, we'd just be overkill. There's no reason to go overkill on strength when we're using something like Pillage here. We're running corrosive projection. So with all this stuff stacked up, we are 82.25% armor strip with Pillage. And this corrosive projection is additive. On top of that, we will have a 100% armor strip if we do everything right. When I say do everything right, we're not done with the things we have to jump, the hoops we have to jump through. Also, dash twice with Matter Eye, focus school with Sling Strength. After all these things are done, you will make the enemy's health bar red. But don't forget, you have to get 250 kills to get to that point too. So, with not even all the stacks, let's show what this does in practice in the simulacrum. Now, keep in mind, these enemies don't spawn very often at this level or at all at this level. We're going to go over some Octavia tips here too. So I'm going to place my mallet, I'm going to place down my amp. Now that thing, as they shoot it, it takes more damage, it deals more damage to them. But look at this, they have so much armor, they're taking basically no damage. I use Pillage, that damage number became a 9,000, we do it one more time, all their armor is gone. they should be taking a lot of damage from that. Now keep in mind, this is line of sight. Pillage's line of sight, as is her mallet. So it's not going to be going through walls and stuff. But the fact this scales so well, let me just respawn these guys. As they spawn in, they're already taking the damage. So just think about that in mission. As new enemies walk into the room, they're already getting damaged, they're already dead. Octavia is one of the strongest frames in the game, easily. So let's go ahead and show some gameplay of this. We can also go over some weapon builds too. Since Octavia is a permanent invisible frame, we've gone with the Despair Incarnon. This is a pretty powerful weapon. But the nice thing about this is it has silenced explosions. So we can spread viral procs, we can also kill acolytes with this, and things of that nature. A lot of people don't really like this one as much as I do, but yeah, it's an AoE exploding pistol that is surprisingly powerful against acolytes. So throw on some viral procs. If enemies are armor stripped, you can hit multi-million damage with this. So yeah, let's just get some gameplay on the screen. We can talk about Octavia some more as far as tips and tricks. Okay, so this is going to be Steel Path Circulus. This build is meant for Circuit, but I feel like Circuit gameplay is not the most useful to put in videos. It's like, what decrees do you have in this video? The thing is, if you're going Octavia in a like longer circuit run, most decrees are good for her. Anything that involves like increased damage while moving is good. Anything that increases parkour velocity or movement speed after getting a kill is also good because she can move around very fast with her third ability. And some other buffs. Like, you'll be doing Void Flood very fast. You'll be killing all the enemies for Exterminate, all the enemies for defense very fast. But here's some tips for an Octavia player that's been doing this for a while. So, positioning is pretty important on Octavia. Things you're going to really want to be paying attention to is, where am I placing my mallet? Where are the enemies coming from? What line of sight does this mallet have? So, example, in the video right there, I placed it on the ground right in front of a heavy gunner. I know the heavy gunner is going to shoot at that mallet and ramp the damage up really fast. So it's going to take a lot of getting used to what tile set are you on, what angles does this mallet have, because as I said, it has line of sight. So if you place it like in a good spot that can hit lots of enemies, you'll be doing great. But if you place it in some random corner, it's only damaging like 2 enemies that walk into that room. That's when you need some more work on Octavia. So she's really, really good. As far as armor strip and all that, I'm not even bothering with armor strip right now in the video, although I do have the Helminth installed or whatever, like I have the Hildren ability in here because we're just rocking really powerful weapons. In the circuit, you don't have the luxury of being able to bring whatever weapon you want. So, this build can work with just abilities too, thankfully. Whenever I make a Steel Path Circuit build, I want to be able to kill level 10,000 with just abilities. And this build can do that. So, now I will admit that since we are doing the extremely min-maxed stuff here, 82.25% armor strip before corrosive projection, this will not fully remove enemy shields. But our shields are that big of a difference, or that big of a problem, because we'll be removing 82.25% of their shields, and 18% of a shield is not going to really matter, especially if we're pumping out this kind of damage. So, really, really good stuff. A lot of people do not seem to know how Octavia's abilities work. I've seen people trying to do like health tank Octavia builds. Guys, if you're playing Octavia, she is an ability casting frame. You need to make sure you're using all of her abilities on her. This is a big noob tip right here, but you need to be going invisible Octavia. If you're not going invisible as Octavia and you're playing her as a health tank, you are doing it extremely wrong, okay? So press the third ability, Metronome, try to get a song with a good amount of, notes to it, and then just teabag like crazy. You will go invis, you can refresh it while you're already invis, and you can give your teammates that invis too. You do not need to put a single health mod or an armor mod in Octavia because, you shouldn't be getting shot. Now, another thing about Octavia mallet placement, you just saw me right there standing in front of the mallet. Don't do that. Don't do what I just did right there. You are in the line of sight of an enemy shooting that mallet. You might be invisible, but the enemy is going to shoot that mallet, and if you are standing there, you will get caught in the crossfire and potentially break your shield gate and die. So, it's complete invisibility and technically invincibility if you do it right. But positioning is, like I said earlier in the video, very important as an Octavia player. Now, additionally, what are some other Helminths you could run on Octavia, or how about no Helminth at all? If you're running no Helminth at all on Octavia, you can definitely go a little bit less strength when you keep her Resonator ability. That will be great for CCing enemies. But the way it stands right now, the Resonator has a little bit of anti-synergy with the mallet, where it will pick it up and bring it to different places. If you want to have area lockdown of an entire room, I'm picking up Metronome. I don't see any other reason to remove her other abilities. Maybe you could remove Amp for like Roar or something, but nah. I'm keeping this on here. It works really well. And if you don't have a Hildren Helminth ability, I believe Hildren was in the normal path circuit last week too. So, yeah, quite nice. It can take care of any type of enemy. Here's some Sentience right here. As soon as the sentients attack that, they should be done. And as I said earlier in the video, if you do have Tau Shards, you will have more duration. It is pretty annoying to just be constantly having to teabag and cast abilities in Octavia, but we've still got 150-something duration, so if you really want to jam some more duration on there, go with Tau Shards. I only have a limited amount of Tau Shards, so I'm not doing that in this current situation, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. The builds for the weapons aren't as important because this is Octavia. The only thing that matters is the actual frame build, because her abilities can kill level 10,000. As you can see right here, we have an Acolyte dying to the mallet, not even to the weapons, so works pretty well there. I think I eventually got over there and shot it, but yeah, Octavia can kill Acolytes with just abilities too, so very powerful in that regard. Let's just finish off the last couple things here. So I have a mitering card equipped in the video. It's also got a silencer mod, as we don't want to get heard. If you are heard, if you have a non-silence weapon while you're invisible, the enemy will look in that direction and sometimes shoot at you. So make sure you're putting on a silencer if you're playing Octavia with a non-silent weapon like the Despair and Karnan. And we actually went with viral here because enemies are being armor stripped and they should die quite easily. Alright guys, that's it for the video. I'll see you next time for your support, and I'll be on stream later tonight. Alright, peace!